We kind of alluded to at the beginning that this film's about more than skateboarding. You know, I'm picking up it's coming of age, it's falling in love, it's politics and the economics of farming. What's it about for you?
Okay, I will try in English, and if it doesn't work, you will help me. Okay.
Yeah, I might intervene from time to time.
For me, it's more about what is childhood in the countryside in France, but maybe I hope in countryside in en Occident en tout cas, je sais pas comment dire.
Yeah, I mean countryside in the Western world, in other countries of the Western world.
And yeah, it's more about how you can manage your bon, je vais le faire en français.
Ok, non, ça...
En fait, c'était plus un film pour moi sur comment on aborde la vie adulte et comment une passion en fait peut aussi permettre de s'accrocher à tout et notamment à passer quelque chose comme le deuil et comment en fait ça peut aussi guider toute une vie et c'est important d'en parler.
Yeah, and you know this is a coming of age and it is about becoming an adult and how about a passion can help you hang on to something and overcome some things like grief, for example.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that it feels very much, often coming of age films are about fitting in, but this seems more about accepting yourself. Did you set out to achieve that, or naturally did that occur throughout the story?
Là, je vais peut-être
Ouais, non, en fait, ouais, la question, c'est que souvent, les films donc sur le passage à l'âge adulte, c'est plutôt sur comment trouver un peu sa tribu et puis, donc s'adapter. Tandis que là, c'est vraiment comment justement, garder une certaine identité et comment s'affirmer, quoi. And what was the rest of your question? Sorry?
Just whether that was a conscious decision.
Ouais, donc est-ce que ça, c'était conscient? Est-ce que tu l'as fait consciemment, donc ce choix de plutôt, d'être sur s'affirmer, en fait, s'assumer?
Je sais pas si c'était si conscient que ça.
No, it wasn't so
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think we were just trying to be the most honest with what we lived, and I think everybody has understands that, but it's a tribute of a dead friend. He was like the best skater of our crew, and he was he was the best, and he was the best professor, teacher.
Yeah.
He was every time the first who tries the most crazy things, the most, I don't know, he was like he was the incarnation of skate culture, but in the good way and the bad way. The bad way, it was drugs, alcohol, and he passed away like 5 years ago because of an OD. And for me, it was important to talk about his story if we were like some years before his death. And yeah, it's a mix between a lot of things, and it's a mix about in France. Maybe we have the same thing in England, but we have a real trouble with the countryside who could begin to be a desert without work, without medicine, without hospital, without anything. And so if you grow up in the countryside and you don't have the money, of the passion, of everything to go out, you're stuck, and you're stuck with nothing to do. And the movie try to talk about a way to escape without escape.
Yeah. I'm not going to labor the point, but it was really refreshing for me to see a character like Pierre. Actually, he's quite confident in himself throughout. Like, he's not trying to, like we've got the antagonists in the film and we've got, the bad skate crew. he's not trying to be their friends, and he never tries to fit in with them. And I've just found that really refreshing, of having that acceptance and confidence to actually be yourself, which I think is a really positive thing in a coming of age film, because we're going to see a lot of coming of age films this weekend, in films like mid 90s and films like Skate Kitchen, where it's always chasing the culture, whereas Pierre seems very comfortable in letting the culture come to him.
It's true. To be honest, I never think about that, but it's completely true. And what I was yeah.
I did watch the film.
But what was important for me, it's exactly that. It is not fascinating by the crew of the famous guy, but is more fascinating about to be a good skater.
Yeah.
And Bertrand is a good guy, is a good skater, so we can help him. And it's more important for him to, yeah, because it's a way to pass the grief. And yeah, it's a movie about that. It's a movie about that. And for I will anticipate maybe, but the white dog is a symbol of grief, and for that they each other see the white dog, and yeah, it's grief symbol for me. It's important.
It's probably worth giving the backstory on how we got to this film, because Antoine made a short film set in the same world probably about 10 years ago that was, incredibly successful, as short films aren't often. But it showed a similar world to the one we just saw on screen. Do you want to tell us about that short film and how that film got you to this one?
Alors je veux bien une traduction exacte.
Ouais, parce qu'en fait, ils ont donc, tu as fait un autre court-métrage il y a 10 ans avec le même monde.
Ouais.
Et donc, est-ce que tu peux nous parler justement de ce court-métrage que tu as fait?
Just to be sure, you want to know what changed between the short and the feature, or
Tell us about the short film. Are people aware of Antoine's short film, L'Escape Moderne?
it's a little bit odd right now.
It's
But
a bit old, but it was,
Yeah,
very successful because of its perspective of skateboarding in a rural community.
yeah, exactly. Okay, 10 years ago, I made a short movie, who exploded on the internet, um, about skater from the countryside. But I try to be a little bit confused with the audience, because every skater were wearing old-fashioned clothes from their grandparents, like a farmer. And a lot of the big reason of the buzz on the internet was because a lot of guy from city think that in the countryside we skate like farmer from the old century. And and I never ask, and I never answer to the question, because a lot of journalists and everything like that ask me, okay, it's true, it's false, and I just say, think you, and you will have the answer. But and it make a big buzz in France. And what is was funny is that people can think we we can wear like peasant from the old century to go to skate. It was just a way to show how urban culture can be reappropriate, ça se dit?
Yeah, reclaim.
Yeah, reclaimed by the the child from the countryside. And I made this movie with nothing, like 100 euro, the car of my dad and all my friend, and it was crazy because it explodes on the internet. So yeah, it launches my career.
Yeah, it launched his career. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so, because it launched your career, did everyone expect you're suddenly the country skateboard guy? So is this the film that everyone expected you to make, or is this the film you felt you
I
had to make?
It's a really good question. I think a lot of people expected this movie, but not this movie. They wanted this movie, but with more provocation, more I don't know, like a big show or something like that. Like, and at the end, I prefer to be really low key and really simple and to talk about feelings. And I have some regrets on this movie. We talk about that. I'm For me, it's maybe too comment on dit scolaire?
Academic.
Academic. But in the other way, it was good to catch the audience, a large audience. Because if I do a punk movie for the cinema with skater guys from the countryside, it can be a good can movie with no audience. So I'm not sure of the strategy.
It's interesting because obviously, to me, this is a very polished debut film. Like, there's a lot happening in the film. Maybe it's quite academic, but the production values are high. The cinematography, the editing, like that must have been a big jump for you from a short film with your dad's car and however else you were filming it to a crew and a lot of people. Like, I'm keen because to me, what remains in both of them is that the skateboarding's really good. The skateboarding's really good in Ollie. The skateboarding's really good in this in Le Skate Moderne. So I feel like you've got all this going on the in Ollie, and a big set, lots of people. You're making sure that it remains authentic. You're making sure that the skateboarding remains good and the tricks make sense and the sequences make sense.
Exactly. Okay, I will talk in French for that. Pour moi, c'était vraiment très important que que ça soit authentique et que le skate soit vrai. Et pour ça, on a avant tout choisi en fait des skaters qui pouvaient jouer, plus que des acteurs qu'on aurait dû doubler, parce que ça aurait pas du tout fait le même film. Et pour moi, c'était très important qu'on ressente et qu'on filme le skate comme un peu une danse ou un ballet.
Yeah, so for me, that was really important to keep the authenticity, of the skateboarding, and I really made sure of that. And this is why we cast skaters who could act and not actors who could skate, because I really wanted, the skateboarding to be like a dance, basically.
Et je pense même, alors je vais citer Louis Garrel qui a dit ça il y a pas très longtemps, mais en vrai c'est intéressant, quitte à me faire des ennemis, mais je le pense sérieusement. En fait, je
I make
pense que
some enemies here.
n'importe qui, c'est vrai pour le cinéma, peut savoir jouer, contrairement au théâtre ou ailleurs. Et je pense qu'en fait c'est à nous, en tant que cinéaste, de trouver la bonne personne. Je pense qu'un acteur peut tout jouer, mais pas n'importe quel. Enfin, je pense que on peut trouver la bonne personne qui joue quelqu'un, mais tous les acteurs ne peuvent pas tout jouer. Et du coup, pour moi, c'est très important d'avoir des skaters qui incarnent le personnage avant tout.
So yeah, I'm going to quote Louis Garrel, recent things that he said about acting, and I might make some enemies. Stage actors are on a different world, but when it comes to to film acting, actors can't play absolutely everything, and it's important to. It's more important to cast the right person, really, and anyone, can act, can do that. And so it was really important to cast those skaters.
Exactly.
I like how, I mean, for me, it felt like the skateboarding was doing a lot of the dialogue in some places, particularly obviously the game of skate. Like, there's a lot that's unsaid in that sequence. Did you write the script by tricks? Like, did you know what they were going to, like, were you being very prescriptive in how those sequences would play out?
It happens in different steps. For example, for the teenagers, none of them are professional. So I didn't want that they read the script. I write like comment dire en résumé?
A summary.
Yeah, a summary, but without dialogues, because if they begin to learn dialogues, it will sound fake. So I just want that they speak like they speak, because now I'm old, I'm not a teenager, so yeah, do what you have to do, but I have to, you have to go to the point A to the point B. And when we do that, we make a lot of rehearsal, and I was writing the script with the rehearsal, with the dialogue of the rehearsal, and at the same time I was asking, what is your favorite tricks, what is the good tricks for you at this moment, what you can do at each try, or what is complicated for you. And they were trying, we were trying how they can do that, how they can say that. I was writing, but they never read that. It was just for me and for the crew, and to have a perspective or an idea of the time of shooting, but it was just for us.
Okay.
So it was just communication, trying, and yeah, the last script was only with their own word and their own tricks.
Okay.
The first script has really different tricks, but the last script has exactly these tricks, because I just listen what they want and what they can do on a skateboard.
It feels like authenticity runs throughout this film. I mean, it was interesting. We were talking about the great actor Cedric Kahn and filmmaker Cedric Kahn is in the film, and how, he
Yeah.
was really nervous about this role. And I can imagine, everyone who is skateboarding wants to do justice to the authenticity of that. But do you want to talk about Cedric and his contribution to the film?
Yeah, it was. I can talk about three characters for that. I can talk about Emmanuel Berco, who is for me one of the best actress and filmmaker in France right now, who was the sister of the father. I can talk about Cedric Kahn, who is a great French filmmaker, with the dad who plays the dad in the movie, and Theo Christine, who is one of my best friend and one of the most promising actor for me in France. And yeah, with Cedric, it was really interesting, because he came from the Piala school. I don't know if you know Maurice Piala, but he was c'était son stagiaire en fait.
He was Maurice Piala's intern.
Yeah, and he was so close to Maurice Piala, and he
These are like serious. This is like the serious school of French acting.
yeah, exactly. And in French we have Cedric we have Cedric no, Cedric Kahn, and we have Abdelatif Keshish,
Oh, yeah.
who are like the perfect sons of Maurice Piala for me. And they are comment on dit, sont habités par l'incarnation la plus authentique possible.
Yeah, so they live, they experience the most authenticity when it comes to, incarnation as possible.
Et donc pour moi, ça a été dur avec Cédric, parce qu'en fait, c'est un réalisateur qui vient de Paris, qui n'a rien à voir avec un paysan. Et en fait, il a tellement stressé de ne pas y arriver qu'en fait, il a été très dur, mais c'est ce qui a fait aussi le fait qu'il est bien dans le rôle. Et c'était compliqué à gérer.
Yeah, and so because of this, like of Cedric coming from Paris and coming from that school, he was very, very stressed about being, playing a character who was a peasant, who was from the countryside, and so he got really angry, and actually this anger really helped getting the character.
Yeah.
He seemed quite angry.
Yeah.
Seems like an angry guy. I just wanted to ask very quickly before we go to audience questions about your influences as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Like, did you? You've obviously, we've talked about your connection to skateboarding and culture, and that kind of skate culture. What came first for you? Was it skate culture, skate videos, art house film? Where did this blend? Where did the two meet? Were you going into a skate shop and it was next door to an art house cinema? How did it? How did it all
It's
come
really good
together for
question.
you?
In my time, in my countryside, there is no shop.
Yeah.
So,
Had a
but
lot of time to dream.
yeah, no, but I'm lucky because I'm born in the 90s, and so we have internet. So no, so um I can stream and download a lot of movie. And to be honest, I was a huge fan of classic and really popular movie because in my house my parents watch this kind of movie but not outhouse movie, and I was a huge fan of skateboarding. And when I begin to skate, I begin to shoot skateboarding, and I was searching on the internet a lot of video skate video, and I discovered the work of Spike Jonze by pure hazard because it was emule and eTorrent at this time, and you just you just ride skate and you can have like a porno movie or a skate movie. It's like like big lottery. And so I discovered the work of Spike Jones, and mostly I discovered the work of Larry Clark, who is a little bit problematic right now, I know, but at this time Kids was like a big hit in my face, and I begin to interest in myself to the art house movie. And yeah, I think it's like a big
It was a
mix.
gateway.
Yeah, exactly. And then I completely escaped from the skateboard culture and surf culture, and but yeah, it came from that. In fact, in France, we are lucky. We have the CNC. I think it's like sort of BFI,
Sort of.
something like that. So and we have a lot of region.
Well, yeah, we've got regional subsidies and grants, I think.
And it was really traditional way to finance the movie, but I was really comment je dis, j'étais très aidé
He had a lot of help.
because of my short movie. Because my short has like the 15 prize in all over the world festival, and 50 selection, and some and we wrote the script. We go to the comment on dit une région?
A region, like
Yeah,
we've got
region. The
Nouvelle-Aquitaine.
north, yeah, North region, Nouvelle-Aquitaine region. We had the fund, and then we had the CNC, and we had Canal Plus. It was really traditional, and the obstacle was after, because I was unlucky. The producer who was a distributor too, they were broke and they crashed. So the movie was on a, comment on dit, il était sur une étagère.
He was shelved, like the movie was shelved.
Yeah, and the distributor from Nantes, so from the countryside, so helpful from the countryside, decided to take the movie, but he was without money, and so we built a company with one of my best friend. We go to see every skateboard brand that I know, and we organized a big tour in France, and each screening we made a cash for tricks, because we find some cash, and we give the cash and we make an event with every screening, and the movie could exist by this way. It was really funny to do, but at the same time I lose like I think 10 years of my life. I was completely tired at the end. We were like in one city for one day, and we drank a lot, and it was crazy. It was just 1 year ago.
True. Well,
And
congratulations.
Antoine was telling me he lives alone on a boat now, and it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's true. It's for my next movie, but it's a really wide movie in the Lost Caribbean. It was quite difficult. It was like 6 months or 8 months casting all over the France. But to be honest, it was crazy because, for example, the kid, the main character, it was the first kid that I saw in the casting, and I was like, oh, I'm sure it's him. And then I had like 50 other kids to see, and at the end, it was him. So it was difficult to have this pocket of 50 kids, because at the beginning, ils étaient, je sais pas, je pense des centaines, ouais.
Yeah, there were hundreds of them at the beginning. So getting to 50 was hard.
But the most what is good with the kids, it's if you have a natural kids who want to play with you, who share the energy with you, they are every time they act really natural. Kids don't act, don't play. I don't know. Kids doesn't play.
Et-
Ils sont très. En fait, c'est impressionnant. Un gamin, ça
Ouais,
joue pas, quoi.
Oui, mais ça joue pas, mais ça joue justement.
Ouais, mais en fait, il oublie. Dès qu'il oublie la caméra, en
Ouais.
fait, en enfant, c'est impressionnant, quoi. Tu vois, c'est plein de naturel.
Yeah, we're children, and when they forget that the camera's there, they're so natural, in terms of playing. And sorry, that's my little aside. It's funny because in French, acting is jouer, which is also playing.
I want to say again a huge thank you, Antoine, for letting us have the film to open this weekend, and for being here with us today.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a pleasure.
It's great. Thank you very much. Join me.
Thanks.